Moving on. Alright. Water Mage. I am a 500-hour Water Mage specialist and one trick, so this is kind of my bread and butter. Shift Float, we don't know very much about this ability. We know that you can hover above the ground and slow fall, essentially. We don't know if you can walk on top of liquids.
Yeah, we had someone theorizing about that and was wondering whether you can hover over lava or water and shit.
It would be good if you
That'd
could
be
do
pretty
that.
interesting if you
Otherwise, it's literally just a slow fall gimmick. You just use it to cancel fall damage, essentially.
I can see it like used in like one or two scenarios where you're in like an open field and you want like somehow
Mmm.
like get into the air and just like fly around the enemy, but
You know what
that's
I'm
it.
thinking? Have you ever actually
In
fought a
like
troll?
dungeons and stuff.
Have you ever fought a troll before?
Hmm,
Where they do
good
the
point.
ground
Good
pound
point.
and you take damage if you stood on the ground? I imagine float would negate that because you're not stood on the ground. So if it's doing a ground pound, you don't have to keep jumping.
Can you completely negate all fall damage then?
I mean, that's what it looked like. He like jumped off a cliff. Well, it wasn't a cliff; it was a hill, and just floated to the ground and didn't take fall damage.
But can you enable it right before you fall so you can have the speed of falling down
I
like a
wonder,
great height?
maybe.
And then just right before timing it, you take
We
the
don't know. That's something we'll have to test because he only showed
Honestly,
it down
in
in
my
quite a
opinion, that
shallow
should be a
hill.
passive ability.
Yeah, I mean, I
That should
don't
be like
know.
you hold space and you just hover.
Honestly, it's
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
gimmicky. Like, there's no real combat situations where this is useful.
Because it's really not, yeah, it's not combat ability in any way. It's just a
I'm jumping
add-on
off a
sort of thing.
cliff. I'm gonna jump off a cliff. I'm gonna press shift.
You
Like,
know what also is going to
Progress.
happen? You know how in Overwatch, let's say for example you play Soldier
mm,
and you're so used to holding shift out of spawn and then you switch to another character, then you use an ability out of spawn?
yeah.
Mm.
I feel like playing as Rogue, you're going to be so used to sprinting. And then let's say you start a new character, let's say Mage, and you're going to start randomly floating because you're just so used to hitting shift every time you start
Yeah,
moving.
you're gonna try sprinting and then you just start floating somewhere.
Yeah, that's why I'm not a big fan of like sprint as a specific character ability. I think it should be implemented either throughout the whole or not at all. I think the sprint is a spot that could be used for something else in the ninja. That could
Yeah.
be more interesting.
So healing
I'm a big
stream.
fan of passive abilities, and I really believe that float should be on it. Shows should, like, what was it? The one for the ninja, the sprint thing. That should be more of a passive ability.
Yeah,
It, like
I agree.
enters outside of combat, it activates, sort of thing.
Yeah, because you see something like sniper where the shift is snipe, and you see something like warrior where the shift is cyclone. Their actual abilities, it makes a little less sense. Either make every single shift a sort of movement ability, or keep it consistent where every single shift is going to be a type of scalability.
Well, you could almost say that Cyclone is a movement ability because it gives you that jump, but that's it. Other than that, it is
Yeah,
just a blocking and actual damage ability.
Yeah, and
but
And
how
see,
then there's
useful is
just your.
that jump going to be? Maybe the higher you jump, the more damage smash does.
Do you know how high the jump is?
My guess is I mean, we know how high a boss jumps, right? When it is a smash, probably the same distance as like a smash
No,
jump.
I mean the Cyclone. How high can you jump with the Cyclone on?
Oh,
because you do the same with
Because it's
sprint on rogue. You get a high jump too.
yeah, that's
cool.
cool too. Oh, it'd be so nice if you can roll mid-air
Mm.
with ninja or assassin,
I
whichever.
wonder if the double jump's still gonna be a thing. If you can double jump, start sprinting, and
He
then high
changed his
jump.
engine, so probably not. I feel like he totally fixed that.
I mean, we say we change his engine, and you say you think he could have fixed all these things, but he may not know they exist, and he may want to implement them. That might be how he wants his system to
Yeah,
work.
that's true. I mean, like we don't know where this dude's been for 6 years, other than in Germany. We don't
Yeah,
know how, if
not
he's
even that. We don't. He could have been on holiday.
yeah, that's true. We don't know if he knows anything about the maybe he doesn't even know the frog gang exists. Honestly, like I don't.
He will one day.
That'd be surprising.
Okay, so float healing stream. Healing stream hard busted. Best ability in game IMO other than crit aura.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be changed that much.
It's
Maybe
changed
other than stats.
from it's from targeted single target to AOE now, and you can target the ground. It looks like and choose a
But
target
that's so
area.
much better.
Out of everything, I feel like Water Mage has stayed the same, but if anything, gotten stronger.
It's just better.
Everything else
It's,
balanced out a bit. Water Mage fucking just doubles the buff
I
instead of.
think Water Mage is just better because you have Healing Stream, except it's AoE now. You have Teleport. The Teleport's a gimmick now, I think. You don't use it unless you're using, unless you're, like, map traveling, like you're just running somewhere. Because it uses all your mana, which means you can't Healing Stream or Water Bubbles. And
But it uses all of it.
yeah,
That's
100.
That's pretty useless.
Yeah, which means you have
And
to
the
wait for full
only
mana to use
scenario
it.
is where you're completely fucked and you know you just badly need to get out of there.
Yeah, like a party
Well,
wipe.
that's
If a
gonna be
party's about to wipe,
so rare.
yeah, if a party's about to wipe and you've got full mana and they all just ran in and got nuked by a berserker rock fist 6 people. You
Yeah,
just
if you like see the rock fist coming from a mile away and you know you can't get out of the way, only scenario where it's useful sort of thing.
yeah, you bamf out of that. But yeah, water
Because you
bubbles.
lose all your mana and it takes you mostly out of the fight.
Yeah, so I think you don't use teleport really for kiting anymore. You kind of, I think the early game, well, early-ish game, like level up to like level 8, starting at level 8, teleport isn't really a kiting tool anymore because it eats all your mana. So it's more of a situational button rather than just basically press it off cooldown to keep someone away from you.
And you don't really need teleport the kite things, you got the dodge ability.
Yeah, but you
Just
can dodge and
dodge.
teleport, and then you get a free like 10 hits in without having to worry about dodging. You can regen a roll in that time.
I know what I mean, like after the update.
Uh,
Because
yeah.
it takes away all your mana.
The thing, if your
that's
water mage is
pretty-
aggroed, right? If something's aggroed on the water mage, unless you're playing solo, there's no reason you should have something aggroed on you realistically.
Especially if you've got a group of you.
Yeah, if you're playing solo, then fair enough. But
What do you think is optimal group number? 4?
I think 5.
5?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. 5.
Because I like
Two
having.
ranged,
I'm
two
liking the
close
2
and one-
ranger thing. That 2 ranger thing feels really good.
I think to have one of each class, but the double, since you're gonna have 5, would be Fire Mage and Water Mage.
Agreed. We'll get onto Fire Mage in a sec, but Fire Mage looks way better than it did before. Anyway, Water Mage Ultimate Water Bubbles. This ability is nuts. Actually insane. So you put down a whole bunch of bubbles. You basically poop out bubbles that apply a slow to enemies, right? They slow. It's a CC. They explode if you shoot them, and they damage enemies and heal allies.
Shit, that's fucking Jesus.
How
See some
crazy is that?
favoritism here.
Look, it's right. Quicksand trap. What does quicksand trap do? It applies a slow and pulls enemies. Why would you use a quicksand trap when you have water bubbles?
Honestly, right now, like all I'm thinking is you put down
Maybe
quicksand,
it's
you put down water bubbles on top of it. They can get the damage, they get the slow, they get an extra slow on top of that.
Yeah, they're literally it's like a May. Okay, there's so many Overwatch analogies, but it's like
Overwatch is a pretty good thing
ice.
to compare.
yeah.
I'm wondering, right? Can other allies hit the bubbles?
Probably
That
not.
means I could run in, drop bubbles.
Yeah, that would be so busted though. Like that would be really annoying.
Yeah, and then just
Yeah, I
run
don't
away
think
and
it'll
healing
do.
stream on top of it. Like, I could take an entire party from dead to full HP with those 2 buttons.
Well, actually thinking about this now, I just realised if there's PvP in this game, it completely changes how all of these work.
That's true.
Because stuff like bubbles and sand useless in PvP because people can see it and very easily just avoid it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is
It'll
definitely
change,
a
like, the
PvE
complete
kind
dynamic.
of topic.
Yeah, this is like a very PvE centric.
Yeah.
Wait,
Mana
looking
Shield's
at
gone.
things.
Mana Shield was really good. Mana Shield made solo as a mage really easy because you just ignore a couple hits. You basically get an
Never
extra
played-
dodge.
Never played Mage. What does Mana Shield do?
So basically, it just negates X amount of damage from a hit. So it would negate like 60 or like up to 70. I think my one at level 50 something with 20 something points is 70% damage. So if it's decimal, you can get stuff down to like decimal numbers.
Wait, so it sounds like it's just a better version of Bulwark.
It's only for one hit. It's not a duration thing.
Oh.
It's for like
Oh,
a couple hits that hit you at the same time.
Oh, so it's like a shield sort of scenario where you have to just hit it literally up for a brief moment.
Yeah. You put it up, stuff eats it, and then you kite for the cooldown. but it's gone for now. May return as an equipable ultimate, we're told. I think having Mana Shield as an ulti would need to be buffed to be a valid ultimate compared to Water
It
Bubbles.
wouldn't be real buff.
Fire Mage, we have Float, same as Water Mage. Fire
Before we
Explosion.
move on to Fire Mage, there's something I've realized, and I'm pretty sure, like, the biggest problem with going a Guardian and actually having a shield was that the shield lasted for such a short amount of time. Looking at the footage, I'm pretty sure they've increased it. I think they've at least doubled how long your shield lasts, which will actually give you significant amount more tank ability.
Yeah, so you can tank stuff. You also have a taunt that heals you and Cyclone reduces damage. So it's way beefier than it was before by a significant
And
amount.
then comboed with the Water Mage's ability to heal you. Water Mage and Guardian just put together, and it's just endless
Happy
healing.
times, happy times. So Fire Mage has Float, same as Water Mage, does the same thing, gimmicky. Shift Mouse 1 Fire Explosion is the same as Alpha as far as I know. It drains mana to charge it, looks like, to charge it up. And it has a high stun chance, so it basically just knocks enemies away and does some damage. Self-peel, essentially, I don't really see a situation you'd want to use this in where you want to be close, because it's a relatively small AoE. Teleport is teleport, gimmicky again. Fire missiles is, I think, the reason
looks
you would
bad.
pick Fire Mage.
And we get
Really?
to look at it.
I feel like the damage isn't going to be significant. It looks like it doesn't do.
At level 1,
Oh,
they do 50 a hit at level 1.
How far into the video
Oh,
does
is
it
it
use
level
it?
1? 3
At
minutes.
3 minutes. He's level 1 and they do 50 each.
Oh, wow.
And there's
Yeah,
what?
never mind. Yeah, because
3
at
or
level
4?
132, my critted shuriken does 300 something.
Well, we're not entirely sure what the numbers are going to be in the
Yeah.
update. If he's going to have kept them very
Yeah,
similar,
that's
or they're going
true.
to be significantly different.
How many projectiles does Fire
Oh,
Missile
yeah,
shoot? It's like
that's-
3, right?
Yeah, 3 I think.
3 or 4.
I can see like
Maybe each time you increase it, it adds like an extra missile sort of thing. I can see that happening.
maybe. It seemed I don't know how I feel about it because you get those 3 missiles, but there's no damage outside of that. Really.
Yeah, there's not a lot of utility, and you know, if you're gonna be in a party and you don't have a water mage, but you're trying to get a mage, water mage has so much more utility. Like the water bubble and healing stream, I think outweighs the entirety of the fire mage subclass.
Yeah, because Fire
Like, if you
Explosion is
want
what it was
damage.
before. It's the same.
Yeah, if you want range big damage, go sniper. If you want close range damage, go warrior.
Yeah.
I think fire mage is trying to fill a hole where it's already been filled. You know, we have things that are better than it, and water
Yeah.
mage is just so much better.
I think what they should
think
do is swap Fire Mage and Zerker. Like swap them around. So Fire Mage should be bursty, and Berserker should be more about sustained damage and self peel.
But sustained damage on a warrior doesn't fit its class. Whenever I hear warrior, I think burst damage. You know.
Yeah,
so,
I think more like block,
big.
block, hit sort of thing.
Whenever I hear
Yeah.
Berserker, I think Olaf from League of Legends.
Oh,
where
well,
they
no,
just run in
yeah,
and hit shit.
Berserker.
Yeah, I want
Yeah,
Berserk.
Berserker. No, I was thinking of warrior there. Berserker, yeah, I think like more. You get a lot of like you like do more damage to the enemies, but it also hurts you level of type of thing.
Yeah, or
because
like
Berserkers
Deal
sort of
damage,
shit.
self heal. More damage the lower you are,
Yeah.
or something.
Do you know
Yeah.
what I would like? I would like
Berserker should be
instead.
very like you're just focused on always doing damage sort of thing.
Yeah. I think something we have in the alpha build that I'm not a fan of is that armor, not weapons, armor specifically is class based. I think it'll be really cool to have light, medium, and heavy armor. That does a certain amount of statistical change. Like, for example, if I'm a rogue and I have heavy armor, I'm going to be penalized.
Mm.
You know?
I can
And if I'm
see that.
warrior,
I can see that, but I don't see stuff like mage stuff going on Berserker very well.
Yeah, definitely not. I think specifically with armor, like I don't know, because I find that you know if you're gonna be playing solo, drops are gonna be so much harder
Yeah.
to get. Because like if I find a warrior thing and I'm in a party, I have use for it. Give it to my party mate and I get a benefit. 'Cause now he's better. But in solo, to have so many drops that you don't need, I think kind of wastes a lot of it. And I think it should be interchangeable, but with some penalties.
Hopefully he will have reworked that a bit so that you get stuff that's more centric towards yourself the majority of the time.
Or just a little bit of crossover, which I'm fine with. Just balance it.
Because as it stands right now, it's like 50-50 whether you'll get something for you or someone else.
Well, it's 1 in 4.
Not even 50-50. Yeah,
Way
it's even
less than
worse
that.
than 50-50.
Yeah, and then you have to find a boss, which is already, takes 5 years to find a boss to get to it. And then you have to make sure it's your class as well. And then you have to make sure it drops something that's good. Like there's so many variables that come into it to actually get something that you.
Yeah. Okay, so.
Well, there's quests and stuff added, so hopefully you'll get to choose what you get from the quest and stuff.
Yeah. So in conclusion, what do we think of everything as a whole in comparison to Alpha?
Oh, it's better.
Oh yeah,
better. I mean, I think we all think it's better, but a lot of people are going to expect different, which is not going to happen. I think it's everything. You can see this as a Cube World expansion. I know Pixie stated that, I think the quote, I'm kind of paraphrasing, this is a different game, more or less, which I don't think is true. I think it's an expansion of the Alpha build, and a lot of people who are expecting a very different game are going to come in, and beginning game is exactly the same. You're going to spawn near a town, you're going to go and level up random enemies. The world's going to look more or less the same. There's going to be some new things. I mean, it's going to be good either way, but I just think the change people are expecting is not going to be there.
Yeah, I don't think it's as drastic as people are expecting it to be, because like reading these abilities, they're all the archetype the classes fit in the alpha is what they fit in here still.
Yeah.
Except maybe Sniper.
I mean, I think Berserker is pretty different.
Really? It feels kind of the same to me. Yeah.
I feel like the way you go about, like strategy is completely different with Rockfist being a.
Well, yeah.
How's that?
The extra ability everyone adds a significant amount.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna change the way you play everybody. I guess the only thing that I don't see changing at all is Ninja. You're gonna be playing Ninja the same, except you're gonna be hitting 3 and 1 more often.
Yeah.
I don't see Guardian changing a lot now.
Honestly,
I just see him being
I think
a lot
Guardian
more
is just a souped up version of the current Guardian. This is like
Yeah.
Guardian went to the gym and got real buff and then came back and was like, hey man, I have self heals now. Now what are you gonna do? Yeah. This guy was pumped up on steroids and now he's back.
He's just walked in, he's like fucking screaming off his fucking lungs every so often, and as he like does it, he fucking shoves a couple of needles in him and like, ah!
That's what it is. Okay, so that's all from us, from the boys at FROGGANG. We have a Discord, it'll be in the description. We have Twitches, they'll be in the description. You can watch Justin or me when the game is released. We'll be doing an event when the game is released. We'll be doing an event before called Goodbye Cube World. We will post details on that closer to the date. Thank you for watching, everyone. Come join FROGGANG.
We're the biggest gang in the Cube World community right now.
We are the biggest gang. Confirmed.
We are the best. Confirmed.
Confirmed. Alright. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, notification bell, all that bullshit. Bye-bye.